It's spooky month, or at least it might be when this comes out. It was when I was recording it. It might be a little late. Whatever. So what's spookier than tier lists? Specifically, we're going to be doing a tier list on Phasmophobia equipment. This is using the new equipment with the tier system. So you have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Obviously, this is going to be a very personal list because some people prefer various equipment over others. But yeah, let's see what we have first. First up on the list, we have the Spirit Box Level 3. Now, in terms of Spirit Boxes, this is by far the best one because it pretty much always guarantees you're going to get a response providing you use it in the right location. Got a nice wide range. In general, this is a really solid item. So that definitely goes into an A category. Next up, we have Tier 2 Salt. Now, Tier 2 Salt, I think, of the salt types is very useful because what this does, I think this is the one that it's exactly the same as normal salt, except you get 3 per use. And you can like place them in a line, which is very nice for getting a like full album of pictures. It's incredibly useful. It is nice. It is not like a killer item, but it is very good at allowing you to determine whether something has UV, considering now that footsteps actually count. This is a pretty good item. Solid B tier for sure. Level 3 video camera. I mean, in general, the upgrades on video cameras are purely just kind of like quality of life, really, like just the visual quality of things. I don't actually remember if it does much more than that, considering, and I don't believe that it has any other benefits other than it looks nicer and easier to see, and the screen's bigger when you hold it. Still a great item. I think that is also going to go into B tier. These tiers aren't going to be like ranked within the tiers because you can't do that. So it's just like flat scoring. All right, tier 2 book. Well, the tier 2 book is slightly better than the tier 1 book, slightly worse than the tier 3 book. It's just medium chance of things happening, really. I don't believe there's any difference. That's gonna go in C. It's mid. So this is the level 3 sanity restoration thing. Just jab it into you. This is like just good, right? Like, I think this is just a solid upgrade from before. It has a benefit which is very nice, that when you use it, you get, I think, 10 seconds of infinite sprint, which is good, except that there's a thing at the moment, I believe they're changing this, but there's a thing where if you use it when you're tired, the idea is it locks your stamina. So if you run out of stamina and then use it, you stay locked. So that actually lowers it, and I'm going to put this as a B tier item. I believe this is level 1 flashlight. Probably one of the worst things ever, because it is your line of sight. It is just so bad. It is awful. I hate it. This is the worst. It goes in F, and I'm being harsh on it because yes, while it does function as a torch, no. Never mind, I've changed my mind. It goes in D because this exists. This is the tier 1 crucifix, and while it does work on paper, it's shit. It really is just bad. Its range is awful. It can only prevent a hunt once. It is just genuinely not easy to use because of just how little it does. That's an F tier right there. Hey, tier 2 dots projector. This is when the big boys come out. This is an upgrade that we love to see because the tier before it is also bad. But this, yeah, this is good shit right here. I do enjoy this. It's just a wide spread area of dots, and it's the dots that you're used to from when it was first introduced, basically. And it goes in a solid B tier because it's good because you can see dots with your naked eye, and that's very useful, actually. Tier 2 candles. I mean, this is pretty good. It reduces sanity drain when you're in a dark scenario, as well as burns for a nice amount of time, and is good for interactions and just genuinely protecting you. There's a lot of things that candles can do, actually. It protects you against, was it Onryo? One of the ghosts will blow out the candle rather than hunt you. So candles in general, pretty good, pretty solid fucking item. I mean, obviously the next one's like, you know, that's gonna go B as well. Actually, I did put this at B. I think I'm actually gonna put it at A, because that is just a solid item. The lighter lighters things and lights them. C, because that's all it does. What the fuck is this supposed to be? Tier 1 candle? Is that what this is? A tier 1 candle? I mean, it doesn't have quite the same benefits as the tier 2, right? But like, it's still pretty good. I'm put it in C. Sound sensors. Now, this is where my experience is gonna differ from some people's, because I love sound sensors. These have been so useful for me, and I mean, in general, like, finding the ghost isn't too bad nowadays. There's lots of tools and things that you can listen out for that help you find where this thing is. But I love what this offers in terms of, like, you know, functionality to be able to... This is the tier 3 one? Yeah, I think this is the tier 3 one. The ability to, you know, hear the ghost walking around and where it is and where it's active, especially on big maps. It's useful to kind of know the general direction or, like, activity. You can change the type of, like, cone that it has, which is very useful. A lot of people don't know that necessarily. And it's just fun to hear the ghost noises in the van and stuff. So I really like this. I know it's not like a commonly, like, enjoyed item, but I'm a big sucker for this. Even still, I know the general use is limited, so it's gonna go in B. Tier 3 UV is a big old cone of UV, and that's cool. And I believe, like, the upgraded UV makes it so that you need to shine it less on fingerprints and stuff to keep them lit. Actually, I don't know if that's the thing or not. But either way, it's UV but bigger. that's it. This is gonna go in C rank, and you're gonna be surprised, or you're not. I mean, parabolic microphone, parabolic microphone. Which one is this? Is this tier 1? I think this is tier 1. Yeah. I don't use this really. I know that my friend, I have a friend that I play with commonly, will use parabolic mics. I don't know if tier 1 is specifically one they will go for, but they do use parabolic mics on big maps to be able to find where the ghost is, and that can be very useful, but it's very situational, and this is just not good. In the D rank it goes. Is it worse? Is it on the same level as the crucifix level 1 though? No, because I still feel like it has more use. Just be able to find where sounds are is just better than 2 sticks that barely gonna do anything. Tripods! I don't remember which one this is. I think this is tier 2? Regardless, tripods are only there to hold up your video cameras, which I've realized after a while I've just stopped using them and I don't care. So all of their existences are meaningless. They waste money. It's just not... I mean, the nice thing about this one over, let's say, the tier 1 is that you can now move the camera around, which is nice if you're specifically a person who stays in the van or goes to the van to look for things like dots and ghost orbs in a room, if you want to just get out of the house. So that is nice, but I don't do that anymore. A lot of the time we just place the camera down on a prop or something. It goes in C tier just because it has its uses. Nah, I put it in C, it's going in D. It has its uses. It's not completely useless, but yeah, there's no need for it nowadays. Speaking of, here's another one. Maybe that's the tier 3. Regardless. D. As if by magic. Maybe this one's the tier 3. Regardless, D. Tier 3 light. Everything we liked about the original light, but better. A rank. I think also, if I remember correctly, the tier 3 firelight isn't a consumable, unlike the others, so you don't have to rebuy it every time. Tier 2 video camera. So we've already had the tier 3. This is essentially the same thing, just a slightly smaller screen when you use it in your hand. Video quality, I believe, is pretty similar. You're not going to get much difference out of it. So considering we put that at B rank, I'm going to say this is a C rank item, because it's okay. It's very useful, much better than tier 1. Speak of it, and it shall appear. Tier 1 video camera. You know what? I like the novelty. There is something very novel about it being like really low quality green filter. I do like it because of that. It's not going to get much more points out of me. Like it's easily going to go in D tier because it is kind of crappy, but there is a part of me that likes it just because of the whole like horror show aesthetic, right? Everything's like green filter and low quality, and it's just like, ooh. But yeah, it's pretty garbage. Tier 3 thermometer? Is this the tier 3 one? Yeah, this is the tier 3 one, because the tier 2 one's the gun. So tier 3 thermometer is alright. Yeah, sure. It's okay. I'm sure it has its benefits. But yeah, this is actually going to be we'll say a B tier item. It does its job. Tier 2 headlamp. This is an MVP. This is a great item because not only does it provide a nice amount of light, I mean, it's kind of similar to the tier 1 torch in the amount that it actually does, like light-wise, but it's quite wide, and it frees up a slot of your equipment, which is invaluable. This is an amazing item. The only thing is, you might accidentally keep it on and the ghost will kill you, but otherwise this is clearly an A tier item. Like it is a great piece of kit. Parabolic level 2 is also again a nice piece of kit, again though only situational, so it's kind of cool. I mean, there's only one ghost that really will that you can like truly make use of this, other than trying to find the ghost room. So again, it's going to be a C tier because it's very situational and not always that good. Level 2 sound sensor. Everything the level 3 sound sensor can do, but worse. And you can't change the shape of the thing. So C rank for you. Level 1 head-mounted camera is just a head-mounted camera. I don't actually know the quality of it. I don't think I've used it since. So I don't know how it compares to something like, you know, a normal video camera. Last time I tried to use this, actually, it bugged out the game, and I don't know if it still does that or not. It's mid. So, solid C tier again. Ghost hunting salt. Tier 1 salt. It does the job. It puts salt down. Only twice and in a small pile. It's kind of bad. D rank. Alright, me and this thing have a personal beef. You want to talk about crappy items? This thing right here is a piece of shit. It's not good. The chance of you getting a response on this thing is very low, and it's just not a fun time. Honestly, you know where this belongs? Right next to the crucifix. It's so bad. I believe this is tier 3 camera. I'll know if I see the other one, basically. But like cameras in general, basically all they do is just take pictures quicker, and that's nice. I don't think there's any other thing that it does, but it's nice. I mean, without these things you wouldn't be able to get your perfect games or some of the ghost evidence to get some extra money. So in general, these are pretty nice. So I'm gonna put this at a nice B tier. The strong flashlight, tier 2 of the flashlight types. I don't like this purely because it's worse than it used to be. Like, people before the tier system, this thing was great, but they made the tier 2 items slightly worse, so tier 3 would be more appealing, and in doing so, they've ruined my boy. So, not the man he used to be. Still fairly usable, though, so it goes in the B rank. Yeah, I think so. Oh boy, talk about more things that are awful at tier 1. This is awful. Good luck getting it right in this thing. I swear. Is it as bad as the other two, though? I don't know. I mean, its range is pretty low, right? But is it on par with, like, the worst pieces here? Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's gonna go in F as well. Level 3 parabolic microphone is the best as what it does. It even shows you in a general direction of where you heard it. And that makes it a lot nicer. That does really benefit the general vibe that the parabolic microphone does. This is tier 3 and it's nice. And it can go in B. When you want to use it for your situational things, it is good at what it does, but it doesn't excel anywhere else, so a solid B rank for a good ranking item in general. The Oomph Reader. This one is pretty good. This is tier 2. I like this one, and it does the job. It's pretty much exactly the same as it was way back when, so B tier. UV tier 2 is tier 3, but worse. It is just a little torch to shine, and it projects a UV, and that's it. It's actually going in the D tier though, because it's not as good as the upgraded one. Look at this piece of work. Tier 1 dots. Ew. It is cringe. Oh my god. This is a very hard item to use. Do I actually think it's worse than the spirit box and that? No, it is more usable than that because you can hold it and it's kind of nice to be able to hold it and move it around, and you see some cool interactions with it if you do that, and you can place it, so it is not as bad as the other items we put in F. So that means D rank. Look at this photograph. It does exactly the same thing but slower. That's pretty much it. Where did I put the other one? Okay, I don't know which one's which, but it's C. I mean, it does the job. It's you don't get any benefits either way. It does the job, right? I think later it'll play more of a part when they add the actual like photo quality stuff, but as is right now, it doesn't matter. It's a sanity juice. It gives you back the sanity. It's level 1. It gives you back sanity. That's basically it. It's okay. It's just like a C rank because it's very useful. Probably tier 2 is gonna go in C rank too because it's just the same thing. It's just this is tier 3 salt. Now, depending on who you ask, this could be worse than tier 2, but I like it. The similar fashion. It puts the salt out in a line, but if the ghost walks through it, it actually goes slower. So it's useful for getting away if you're in a high octane chase, and that's kind of nice. Again, mileage may vary on who you ask whether this one's good or not, but I'm also going to put it in B because I think it has its uses. Here's the sanity pills. It does the sanity thing. It goes in C with the rest. Tier 2 crucifix does everything the tier 1 does, but better, bigger, and twice. And yeah, it's just generally a way nicer item. This thing has saved my ass so many times. Providing you place it strategically, it's a great time. I'm gonna put that in a B. Incense, tier 1 incense, stops the ghost from doing some stuff for a while, calms it down, can help you evade a ghost during a hunt. Pretty solid items. Smudge sticks are very useful. Even at tier 1, it's still fairly good. So I'm gonna put that one at we'll put that one at like C. The Holy Grail, the one true item that helps us in our time of need. This thing can protect you regardless of, well, I mean, not regardless of, but it's really wide, and the most important thing is it can protect you versus cursed hunts, which is amazing. This is a solid item that is great. I love it. A tier. We've gone from best to worst. This thing's a piece of shit. Tier 1 EMF reader confuses people and is generally not that great. It isn't the worst thing ever because at least the readings are consistent. It's just a lot of people find it hard to gauge what it's actually supposed to be. So people find that troubling. In general, though, I would say it's a C tier item. Level 1 thermometer. So, we've had the level 3 thermometer. We haven't had level 2. This is the best thermometer in the game of the 3 tiers. Level 1, because it is passive. And the reason why it's better than, let's say, tier 3 is like you can use the tier 3 item and you get a reading. This will actively adapt and change depending on the room you're in. And even when you place it down, it will still be adapting and changing, unlike the other two, which need active interaction. So because of that, this is one of the most useful items in the game. S tier! Wow, you just had to come along and prove a point. I mean, it's basically the tier 3 item, just not as good. So it goes in C, I guess. Yeah. It does the same thing. You just point gun and it will tell you a thing. And I mean, yeah, it's kind of instant, but I don't know, there are some things that the tier 1 thermo does that the others just don't. Level 1 lighter does the same thing as all the others except less. D. Tier 2 smudge sticks. These are great. They have a nice wide area. They burn for a longer time. They are genuinely just a good time. And they do exactly the same thing as the previous smudge sticks, but a little bit better. And those are gonna go in A. The tier 3 writing book does writing book things at tier 3. Yeah, it's just the same but better. Like, pretty much. Yeah, B tier. Because it's like, it does its job really well, but that's all it does. Level 3 incense, again, is another item like the salt that, depending on who you talk to, will say whether this is good or not. Because when you use this during a hunt, it stops the ghost in track, I think, like in its tracks, which can mess people up. So that is, you know, honestly, I'd say, because I don't know, because I feel like that's nice for me. So if I'm going by the way I'd play, I'd kind of put this in a similar vein as the previous smudges. But again, it depends on who you ask. And maybe I haven't been put in enough scenarios in which, like, I can try that out to really see if that would aid my playstyle. But given how I usually am, I think it would be similar. Tier 1 UV, the glow stick. Not only can you have a sweet rave, this is easily the best way to find UV evidence in the game. Screw the torches that do a cone in front of you. This thing has a circular radius around it, which is just fantastic when combined with salt. It is just a better item than its tier 2 and tier 3 counterparts. Much like the thermometer, this thing is invaluable. S tier. Oh, right. I thought the lighter was tier 1. No, this is tier 1. You know, it does lighter things, and it it's F. It's not good. I mean, it does what it, yeah. The Holy Grail. You know, if we did have a double S tier, this is where it would be. The night vision goggles does exactly what it says on the tin. It is a absolute beast of an item. S tier. It is easily one of the things you'd get used to the most and miss when it's gone. Tier 2 spirit box is like the tier 3 spirit box, but worse. Have you thought about, like, that's a very common thing? Which, you know, it's still good though. Like, this is better than the fucking walkie-talkie looking ass from F tier. So, you know what? It's gonna go a solid B. The tier 3 dots projector is interesting because it is bigger and does a bigger cone, but it also, like, scans the room and moves around, and some people don't like that. I love that because I love the effect of it. But I've also heard that later they're going to have an option to be able to make it stationary, which would be nice. But right now, as is, I honestly say it's on par with its tier 2 counterpart. The movement is nice, but not necessary, so take it or leave it, really. Ah, yeah, so this was the tier 2 camera. The other one was the tier 3 camera. The one I put in B tier, which really, I mean, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to change that to go in A and then put this one in B. Yeah, because, like, the tier 3 camera is good, right? Like, you get, that is a nice way to make money. You get nice objectives with it. It's just generally, and it's quick, too. It's just a good item. Level 1 sound sensor does the same as the others, but very limited. And that is unfortunate. D rank. Level 3 EMF. Not only does it have EMF written all, like, very nicely with, like, easy to read dialogue, it like tells you the numbers, and like it even points you in the direction of the event that happened, how far away you are from the event, and what the EMF reading is, not only once but 3 times. This thing is a beast. It is easily one of the best items in the game because it just allows you to know where things are happening at all times in a very nice radius. It is an S tier item. And then finally, the tier 3 flashlight. It is big, it is bright, it works really well, and they make you want it because the tier 2 flashlight was nerfed. So it's a solid A rank from me. And there we go! There you go, that's all of the Phasmophobia stuff ranked. From my best knowledge and from my opinion. If I'm forgetting something, that maybe some items might be in different locations, but in general, I think that is a fairly solid list. I'm fairly happy with it. Tell me what you think. Do you agree with some of these? Do you disagree? I feel like some of maybe the lower tier stuff might be kind of, you know, iffy on what you agree upon. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you've had a good spooky month. So thank you. If you want to see more VR chat videos, specifically tier list videos, here are 2 that you can click on to continue watching. But until next time, thank you for watching. Take care. Yeah, thanks. Bye.